Sometimes, what feels like betrayal is merely redirection. Sometimes, loss is a form of protection. When a door closes, it is not because God has forgotten you, but because He is building a door that only you can open. This is the story of Ragav, the gardener's son, who lost his world to discover the one that had been prepared for him all along. Ragav grew up in a world of soil, flowers, and deep love. His father, a humble gardener, was a man whose truthfulness was as renowned as his skill. Townsfolk would say, if he plants something, even the heavens bless it. Every petal in their garden was a lesson in patience, faith, and care, a living testament to his father's devotion. But seasons change, and so did their fortune. His father's health faded. The man who once labored joyfully under the sun now sat weakly in its warmth, each breath a struggle. One evening, sensing his time was near, the old gardener called his brother home. With a faint smile, he whispered his final request. Take care of Ragav if I'm gone. His uncle nodded silently, holding his brother's hand in a promise. Moments later, the gardener's breathing stilled forever. Ragav, returning with medicine he hoped would help, found his uncle with tear-filled eyes, whispering, "He's gone." Outside, the garden swayed gently, as if bowing to the man who had loved it most. After the funeral rites, his uncle approached with a folded paper, his voice steady but distant. Your father's dying wish, he explained, was for you to take the village land and build a home there. This house, he gave to me. The word struck Ragav like thunder. This house, the garden. His uncle simply nodded, avoiding his gaze. Neighbors murmured, he's lying. Don't leave. Yet Ragav, bound by faith in his father's word, could not doubt. Obedience, however painful, was his duty. He packed a small bag with a few clothes, his father's picture, and a towel, took one last look at the blooming sanctuary of his youth, and walked away. The village land was a stark, cruel contrast, barren, cracked earth under a relentless sun, without a tree or stream in sight. Ragav sank to the ground, clutching the photograph to his chest. Why would you send me here, Papa? He whispered into the emptiness. As dusk fell, an old woman appeared, carrying a basket of simple pancakes. Eat, son, she said kindly. You can't build dreams on an empty stomach. He accepted the food, his eyes heavy with sorrow. She smiled softly. You look just like your father. Kind eyes, strong spirit. Believe in yourself, you can make this place bloom again. Her words lingered long after she vanished into the twilight, a tiny seed of hope. The next morning, Ragav sought help, but the laborers he hired only laughed at the desolate land. Even God can't grow grass here, one scoffed before they all walked away. That night, Ragav sat under a blanket of stars, exhausted and alone. Yet in his heart echoed his father's wisdom. When no one helps, even the soil watches your effort. With nothing but his own 2 hands, he picked up a spade and began to dig. Days turned into weeks. His palms blistered, his back ached, but he persevered. Then, one day, his spade struck something solid, a buried wooden trunk. Inside, he found a faded letter from his grandfather. Read, To my sons, I know life may lead you far from this land, but my last wish is to see a home built here. This soil holds not just stone, but gold not beneath it, but within the heart that believes. If you are reading this, you are the one fulfilling my wish. Beneath the letter lay a pouch of gold coins and a notebook filled with meticulous plans for digging canals, planting drought-resistant seeds, and cultivating life where none seemed possible. Ragav's tears fell not from grief, but from revelation. He had not been cast away, he had been entrusted. His father, honoring his own father's dream, had guided him to his true inheritance. With the coins and the wisdom from the notebook, Ragav worked anew. He built water channels, planted seeds, and tended the land with a gardener's love. Slowly, green replaced brown. Butterflies returned, and birdsong filled the air once more. Years later, the once barren plot had become a garden so beautiful travelers would stop just to rest in its peace. Beside it stood a simple, sturdy home. The village named it Ragav's Garden of Faith. One morning, his uncle visited, quietly placing a flower at the entrance. Your father would have been proud, he said. Ragav smiled, not with pride, but with profound peace. He looked to the sky and whispered, Your plan never failed, God. I just couldn't see it before. Ragav's journey teaches us that when everything you love seems taken away, do not ask, why me? Instead, ask, what now? For sometimes, God must dismantle our plans to reveal His own. You may lose people, homes, or dreams, but you'll never lose what is truly meant for you. Remember Ragav, he was not punished, but prepared. When God takes something from your hands, He is not rejecting you, He is leading you towards something better. God's greater plan for you always begins exactly where your own plan ends.